coming in. And this one is with regard to the National Herald scam probe. In the fresh development, Sonia Gandhi, remember, will be summoned again for a fresh round of questioning by the Enforcement Directorate at 11 a.m. we are told. Meanwhile, the security has also been heightened in the national capital as Congress intends to carry out protests nationwide. Sonia Gandhi there, the Congress chief, will be summoned yet again. This is the second time for which Sonia Gandhi has been summoned in connection with the National Herald scam. We have our reporters on the ground tracking all the latest updates on that. Anuj and Harsha are joining us live. Anuj joining us live from outside the Congress headquarters, and Harsha joining us live from outside the ED office. If I can first go across to Anuj. Anuj, when can we expect Sonia Gandhi to reach the ED office? If you could share the details that you're picking up.
Well, this is at around 11:30 what we have been told, that Sonia Gandhi is expected to be there at the Enforcement Directorate office. Let me remind you that this is the second round of the questioning by the Enforcement Directorate in the National Herald case. First, let me give you the sense from the AICC headquarters, that's the Congress headquarters and the Congress party office in the national capital. This exactly is the situation at the Congress headquarters, where the Congress workers has gathered, whereas let me also remind you that the permission has been not given. There is no permission for any kind of march. There is no permission for any kind of satyagrah. 144 is already imposed. Let me also give you the sense of the security that has been already beefed up and the kind of bandobast that has been done by the Delhi police. We can clearly see the Delhi police personnel there standing at the main gate of the AICC headquarters, and on my right the deployment of the forces could be clearly seen. So there is no permission for any kind of satyagrah, any kind of march, nothing is allowed. That is the clear instruction from the Delhi police, and forces deployment could be clearly seen. Whereas let me also remind you that this was earlier planned by the Congress party that they are going to go to Rajghat, but 144 is imposed at the Rajghat also, so the no permission has been given for the Rajghat also. What we have been told that the Congress party workers is going to remain there inside the premises. There they are holding the march, they are taking the round in the AICC headquarters itself, whereas Ajay Makhan, the Congress senior leader, is also going to hold a press conference at 10, what we have been told. So any moment from now this is going to start, where Ajay Makhan will be briefing and will be again targeting the Enforcement Directorate. We have also seen Bharatiya Janata Party early in the morning coming out with the reaction. This was none other but Sambit Patra, the BJP leader and the spokesperson, who attacked the Congress party, that the Congress party do not have any of the objects or any points, neither they are left with, and that is why they are coming out with these kind of allegations against Bharatiya Janata Party and the Enforcement Directorate. But this is going to be very important day, because the second round of questioning by Sonia Gandhi by the Enforcement Directorate.
Anuj, just stay with us. If I can also go across to Harsha, who's reporting outside the ED office. Harsha, if we talk about the grave allegations that Sonia as well as Rahul Gandhi are facing, among those include misappropriation of assets amounting to over 2,000 crore rupees. If you could throw some light on these big charges against the Gandhi sign as well as Sonia Gandhi.
Exactly. Today is the second day of questioning with Mrs. Gandhi, and she clearly has to answer all those things, because since 2011, when Young India actually took over the assets of AJL, all things have started since the time then, because ED has several documentation and proof of the entire investigation, how AJL was already in debt, and how Young India Limited, with only having rupees 5 lakh, could take over the entire AJL assets. And now clearly in the second day of questioning, Mrs. Gandhi has to answer regarding the documentation, regarding the evidence, regarding the check numbers, if they have paid any sort of loan to AJL, and being a political body, which they couldn't have done, and if they have some evidence or not. And do Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, being the major shareholder in Young India Limited of 38%. So clearly they are the main people who should know about the evidence and about the money laundering which have taken in the took over of assets of AJL by Young India. And the second day of questioning, I would like to show you the visuals from ET office outside also, because today also Congress leaders, workers have planned the entire satyagraha which will go from AICC office till ET office. But clearly we are seeing tight security, tight security person who have been deployed here outside ED, because today is not going to be easy for Mrs. Gandhi, because in the first day of questioning, she clearly stated her medical condition. She is not well, she needed medicine, she needed Priyanka Gandhi to be with her. But today the situation seems to be completely opposite, because we are expecting that today the interrogation will not go for only 3.5 hours, but it could go for much longer, because in last interrogation she really didn't reply of most of the questions to ED. There were several questions which were asked by ED officials regarding the making of a Young India Limited.
Harsha, just hold your thoughts there. I'll just come back to you. Piyush, also hold your thought. Piyush, I will come back to you as well. On that note, let's take a look at this report filed by Shravan, our senior editor, as the Enforcement Directorate is all set to grill Sonia Gandhi for the second time today.
Congress President Sonia Gandhi will now appear before the Enforcement Directorate. This is the second time that she will make her appearance before the Enforcement Directorate in the National Herald scam. Keeping that in mind, the Congress party has already urged all the party workers to engage in what they call a satyagraha, some kind of a protest that is going to take place in all states. Let's take a look at what are the allegations that Sonia Gandhi is facing at this point in time. Rahul Gandhi has also been questioned multiple times by the Enforcement Directorate in the National Herald scam. They're essentially looking at who took the decision of incorporating a company which goes by the name of Young Indian, which was utilized to acquire properties of AJL. And were these decisions actually taken by Sonia Gandhi herself? Rahul Gandhi in his questioning has essentially indicated that all of this was all these decisions were rather taken by Motilal Vora.
Shortly from now, the Enforcement Directorate will begin Sonia Gandhi's second round of questioning in the money laundering case related to the National Herald newspaper. The first round of quizzing was on July 21st, when the Congress unfolded a nationwide violent stir in the wake of the Congress chief's questioning. And even ahead of Sonia's grilling session today, the party has asked permission to stage a protest outside Delhi's Rajghat, which was denied by the Delhi police. The Delhi police clearly cited the law and order situation behind the rejection. On Thursday, Sonia Gandhi was questioned by the federal agency for 3 hours. However, it has been learned that the leader wasn't able to answer the questions due to her health condition. In fact, she also produced multiple documents before the Enforcement Directorate, which were deemed unsatisfactory by the officials. And even after being denied permission for its protests, the Congress party held a meet on Monday to talk out its strategy for its so-called satyagraha. As the countdown to Sonia Gandhi's second questioning begins, will the Congress give rise to yet another nationwide drama? Bureau Report, Republic TV.